So, Servine asked, how did you feel when you saw that Raiden was a cyborg? Or become a
It was
cyborg?
cool. It was really great to see that change. And in fact, they wanted me to. Well, I had to adjust my voice, of course.
Mhm.
And if memory serves correctly,
Did they do any filters on it,
mm,
or was it any reverberations or anything were what you did?
well, no, not that I recall. I'd have to listen to it, but I think it was my core voice.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and yeah, the slight variations, but I I think that was I think that was the time when they had some different casting directors. I don't know what they were thinking at the time. They were trying to make it a secret audition where I ended up going in to audition for it, not knowing it was Raiden, and finding out at the last moment it was Raiden. And they had these American producers on one table and Japanese producers on another table, and then a Skype setup and a video camera, and we were in these big soundstage studios on the Henson lot, which used to be A&M, and I had a strange director who was giving me strange directions, and I was performing as Raiden, thinking, "Why am I being directed as Raiden? I'm already Raiden." Um, and I did exactly what was necessary to just adjust and change the vocal sounds to something lower and grittier, and then was told after the fact, "Yeah, you auditioned for Raiden for the Metal Gear series or Metal Gear Solid 4." And I
Mhm.
said, "Well, but I am Raiden. Well, I don't understand what's going on here." And I called my agent, and they were a bit upset. Long story short, whoever those folks were, they didn't get what they wanted from anybody. Time went by, and I thought, what a bummer. I didn't get my role back. Well, they brought back the right smart casting directors and director Chris Zimmerman, and I did get my role back. So, anyway, that's just a side note, if you will, to answer your question of what an actor can go through.
Mhm.
Sometimes not possibly being able to get a role back that they originated because people think, oh, he can't change his voice. He's not going to be able to drop register when it was very easy for me and very pleasing for them. So I love doing it. I thought it was great to see him as this war-torn, world-weary cyborg ninja. Um, and then to find out at the end, spoiler alert, anybody who hasn't played it, cover your ears, that, Rose brings his son to him. All of a sudden, he finds out he actually has a son.
Mhm.
And that was a very tender moment.
The entire I used to really dislike Raiden the way that a lot of gamers dislike what they see as the edgy replacement character for the main
Hmm.
character.
Yeah.
But he grew a lot, and he,
Oh,
he
yeah.
definitely grew on me too. So I think that your performance definitely turned a lot of minds around on that.
Thank you. And I was honored with my performance as Raiden in Metal Gear Rising Revengeance with a
Mhm.
BTVA award for Best Male Lead Performance in a Video Game. So
Mhm.
that was very gratifying.
Now, Tamaki asked, would you ever eat sea salt ice cream, or have you ever had it before?
Yeah, I would. I actually had a sea salt ice cream. I'm trying to think. I think was it candy or was it actual ice cream bar? I have had it before and I've liked it. Hmm. I've actually
Uh,
had sea
yeah,
I've actually had sea salt fudge as well.
that sounds really good.
It was very good.
Yes, I actually the Cold Stone Creamery around Shark Week. I don't know if they have those in Ohio, but Cold Stone Creamery around Shark Week last year did salt ice cream.
Oh,
So
wow.
I bought a big tub of it. It's very good.
Was it good?
Hmm.
Was it bluish?
No, it was white, but I got
Some
food
dye.
coloring
Some
and I
dye.
dyed.
Yeah.
So.
There you go.
Uh, Yami wants to know if you've ever worked with Billy Zane or Richard Epcar, like in
Yeah. Yeah, I've worked with Richard and I love Richard. He's a great guy. I've never worked with Billy Zane, although I'd like to. I actually I saw some clip on him yesterday as well. Uh, although he and I have both appeared on Robot Chicken, different episodes, but his name had been mentioned, or perhaps we were in the same episode, but we didn't perform together. So no, I don't know Billy, but I'd like to meet him. I'm sure he's a swell guy.
With the setup of Robot Chicken, the thing can be completely different 5 minutes to the next, so you could be on the same episode or who knows what.
I'm
You
sorry?
could be on the same episode or like 3 years apart.
Well, we could we could be on different episodes 3 years apart within the same series. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's like the one episode I did where I was the voice of Elmer Fudd in a rap off between him and Bugs Bunny, and Christopher Lloyd was there before me. He happened to appear in that episode, and Dr. Dre actually played himself. So, the three of us were in that together, but we actually weren't working together in the studio together. But I did get to talk to Chris before, once he finished, before I went in. He was quite nice. And I met him on tour as well. In fact, at the Emerald City Comic Con, and he's a wonderful guy to talk to, and he's very similar to how he is as Doc Brown, and a little bit like Jim from Taxi when you talk to him. It's like, hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, not much.
There's part of me thinking, are you putting me on? And it's like, no, that's kind of who he is. And I'm like, well, then he's going to get the same question I get. Doesn't it seem weird that you sound so much like your characters, Chris?
Well, I never thought about it.
So there you go. There's my offshoot of with Richard Epcar and Billy Zane. All of a sudden, I'm talking about Christopher Lloyd and doing an impression of him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that that's the best answer to that question that you could really get.
Yeah.
Hardy, are you still here, or are you off?
Oh, there he is. Never mind.
Saw you typing. You were asking a question about voicing Raiden, but did Quinton's answer about the reprising the role, did that answer your question?
Wasn't the question what was it like? Wasn't that the one? Or no?
He had a question a little while back, because I'm back reading on questions that people have asked. Bye, Thea.
Okay.
So, but I think that the question was answered, because you went into depth about Raiden. All right. Okay. Yes. All right. So I can move to the next one. Moving on. Derps wants to know if you read a lot, like read books, comics, and stuff.
I do read a lot, although I tend to read portions of books. It's rare that I get through a whole book. I tend to have a lot of books going at the same time. So yes, and then I read a lot online as well.
Mm-hmm.
I get into something and I become obsessed with it, and then I read. And also I'm a YouTube clip junkie, and of course, they have an algorithm set up that, oh, you're gonna like this, and they're usually right. So one thing leads into another, leads into another, leads into another.
Their suggestion features have gotten a lot better over the years.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I definitely have an insatiable appetite for information and words and grammar. So yeah. Although I tend to read more fact-based things, informational biographies, usually about artists of some kind, musicians or comics or directors, than I do anything else than fiction. Yeah. Although I should probably give myself a break and try some fiction, and not get so hung up on reality.
You could always watch playthroughs of all of the Kingdom Hearts games.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel that actually has playthroughs, like just all of the cutscenes compiled of all of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Do they have them in order?
I have a post that puts all of the links in order, so I could
That's
always
cool.
send that to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Then I could actually watch it and have some
You could
different
actually
answers.
you could pretend to know what Kingdom Hearts is about.
Well, I would know by that time, wouldn't I? I might have a better idea. Then I could get
The
really philosophical and deep.
the trick with Kingdom Hearts is that no one really knows what it's about.
Nobody. Oh, okay. Well, but
See, get it?
knowing me after I see it, I will at least be able to give you my take on what my character is really about and the journey. Or
Mhm.
Yeah.
or I might be I might be like what you just said and go, you know what? I have watched this over and I've got dug in so deep and I don't know anything. That's very possible.
Blep wants to know if you play any instruments.
I do. I play guitar, mostly acoustic guitar. I write on acoustic guitar. Um, I'm a rhythm guy. I'm not a lead player at all. I don't solo. I think I soloed on one song that I recorded. Um, I, I like to arrange vocals, harmonies. I've always been a lead vocalist for rock bands. I've done some singing in plays. I like working on harmonies, whether it's recording or in a live project. I've also played percussion over the years, just light objects like egg shakers, a tambourine, which people tend to laugh at. But if you don't have the right rhythm, I mean, tambourine is a tricky instrument to play. You have to be able to lock into a rhythm and nail it. And there's different styles depending on what song you're playing and what meter you're playing in. I also play harmonica. What else? Castanets, vibraslap, and the kazoo. Yeah.
So you're kind of a one-man band.
Kazoo is singing.
Kazoo is very singy, and so if you can sing or whistle in melodically, and then you can play it. I have played the kazoo like I would a trumpet, which I played when I was in grade school, but I can't play any longer. So I'm a melody man, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a little bit of keyboards years ago, but I didn't keep up with it.
Mm-hmm. I used to do professional level singing. So
Professional what?
I'm a professionally trained singer. At least
Oh.
I was back in school.
Oh, and where did you perform?
I did a lot of state performances and leads in a few select choir groups, and I also did recording with Stevens and Mac.
I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know who that is.
They're a very small like 2-person group from New Hampshire, so they're local.
Ah, did you do the state performance stuff a cappella?
Yeah, a cappella or piano accompaniment.
Gotcha.
But usually solo and choir.
Right on.
So
That's good stuff.
it's fun.
Yeah, no room for error there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I'm doing with the Snozberries now, I'm lead vocalist in that project. I do write on guitar, but usually when we're doing our little in studio performances, which we call the Rock Candy Factory.
That's adorable.
Thank you. My Scott Vaughn will be playing bass, and then Cody Schmidt will be playing guitar, and then I'll usually be singing lead. And the three of us are doing a stripped down, unplugged session for fans, anywhere from 3 to 5 songs with improvisation. And the last time we ended up sliding into Stand By Me, and I sang as Kermit and Piggy, going back and forth.
So that was kind of fun.
being able to jump voices is really fun. I
Oh
uh
yeah.
I have a tendency to when a song reminds me of a character that I play, then I have a tendency to try and sing songs in their voice.
There you go. It is fun.
It's
And
really
then
fun.
and the nice thing is you don't, you can sing the notes and then you can also speak because characters like that never sing true to form,
Hmm.
you know? Like if you've heard that song Moving Right Along with Kermit and Fozzie
Hmm.
from the Muppets, one of the Muppet movies, they'll be singing, and then suddenly start speaking, or speak sing, instead of moving right along, it's like moving right along. I'm gonna do that thing there. Hey, where are you going? So you can kind of sing the song and get the notes right and get them wrong. And it doesn't really matter because it's a frog.
That's beautiful.
There's no
I
one
do
going to
have
be
a
standing by going, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do that again. You're a bit sharp there. Definitely flat. And what the hell was that note?
So I think that a few people are going to be downloading this recording and having a new Kermit ringtone.
There you go. No doubt. No doubt.
I do have a quick
Yeah.
question. Have you
Yes.
done any like musicals type stuff?
I did in high school. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I did a number of musicals in high school. I think the one I had the most fun with was Guys and Dolls. I played
Ooh.
Nathan Detroit in that, which is interesting because Nathan Lane went on to perform as Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls on Broadway. It was after that he and Ernie Sabella picked up the roles for Timon and Pumbaa. And actually, Ernie never would have gotten the role for Pumbaa had Nathan not dragged him in for his audition. That's how they secured those roles because they loved their relationship. And then when Disney started the Timon and Pumbaa series around the world with Timon and Pumbaa, after I don't know how many episodes it was. It wasn't that many. It might have been 11 episodes. It's a few episodes. Nathan had to stop recording and leave because he had booked the movie The Birdcage with Robin Williams, and he went off to shoot that. Gene Hackman was in that as well. And then they needed to replace Nathan Lane as Timon for the series around the world with Timon and Pumbaa. And after a series of auditions, I ended up replacing him. So interesting that, yeah, before Nathan was Timon, he was Nathan Detroit. And before I was Timon, I was Nathan Detroit. And actually, I was my version of Nathan Lane.
Huh.
It's it's sort of a precursor. In order to play Timon, you need to be in
You,
Guys and Dolls.
you need to be Guys and Dolls, and specifically, you really need to be Nathan Detroit.
Otherwise, you've got no chance.
Not a chance in hell. Or if you do, you may get the role, but there's only been one man in the history of voiceover who replaced Nathan Lane first. That was me. And I also replaced him as Snowbell in the Stuart Little animated series for HBO, which not many people know about. But
I
yeah,
did not know that
going.
existed actually.
What's that?
I did not know that existed actually.
See, there you go. I am a font of knowledge and a wealth of information.
Learn new stuff every day.
Yeah. Also I did Oklahoma, where I played Ali Hakim, the peddler man, and I think he had a bit of speak singing in that. So yeah, I've done a few musicals. I did Oliver when I was a kid. That was fun, and lots of other stuff. But yeah, in recent years, no, most of the stuff I've done has been live, kind of rock and roll, or folk pop stuff.
So Cass asked how you would react to how you would react to Axel in a tutu specifically.
Gosh, I don't know. I guess I'd have to see it.
He's
I mean,
the kind of person that I always imagine. I have a joke that Axel can look good in anything
yeah, I think you're right.
because he just oozes confidence. So
You're
even
right.
if he's Even if he's uncomfortable in something, he's going to make it look good.
I think, yeah, you're right about that. I don't think there's any time that Axel's ever said, well, I'm not really sure.
He's he oozes confidence.
Definitely. Confidence, sexuality, uh, sarcasm, and, well, heroism.
I suppose.
Yeah.
In his own way.
Yes. Even though some people have said, he's a villain. Like, well, not in my world.
He did
He's grown up a
everything
bit
he
since
did
Shadow
for a
Complex.
reason.
Correct.
It's part of the reason that I like his character is he's not forgiven for the things that he did because he still did bad things, but you can understand and empathize with the reason that he did them and see that he's trying to be better moving forward.
Yeah. And isn't that
The
the
reason
human
that I like his character so much.
that's there, that is the human condition.
Mhm.
You know, it really is. Or there's good and bad in everyone. We all do the best that we can.
And people do bad things for good intentions.
Yeah.
And Caspian asked, "What was your first voiceover job?" You said it was like commercials, right?
Yes. Yes. And I honestly, I don't know that I can even remember what my first job was. I don't remember. But it probably was kind of a radio commercial back in the day. It was something that would predate any listing on IMDb. Yeah. I don't have a clue. Don't know. Don't know. Did so many back in the day, tons of radio commercials. Tons.
Yes, the voice actress for Larkseen is also the voice actress for the Wendy's commercials, and it's probably one of my favorite things.
What's her name?
What was her name again? She got married, so she changed her name.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that somebody else. I'm sure that somebody will Google that for me.
Yeah, someone will write it out.
Someone will Google it for me.
Well, good for her.
So, what do you say, and what would you say is the biggest difference between doing voice work for animation, like cartoons and anime, versus doing stuff for like video games?
Biggest difference. Well, sometimes there's, alternate, like sometimes there are options with a video game. You might have alternate lines.
Chanel Gray, that's what it was.
I don't know who that is. But yeah, you might have alternate lines. Things can change in a video game, ways in which they can't in anime or animation. So there's just one way in anime or animation, and that's it. Like I said, in original animation that's being recorded when I'm in the studios in Los Angeles, usually it's done in a group setting. If it's anime, it's usually individual, where you are working to picture, because anime, of course, just means animation in Japanese, and we are taking an original product and dubbing an English dialogue and story. So we have headphones on, looking at the screen, we hear 3 beeps, then we have to start acting, and you have to give a performance that, again, works to time.
Mm-hmm.
And then
on anime productions, then you're matching lip flaps also, right?
Correct. So yeah, that's part of the anime experience. When I said, 3 beeps, then you're working to time. 9 times out of 10, you are lip syncing. So yes, you are matching the lip flaps, and then sometimes you'll be heard off camera. And then in video games, there's different ways they go about it. Sometimes they'll have a video camera shooting you while you're recording, and they will sync it up later. Occasionally, they'll have headgear on you with a camera and light. There's also the kind that's done in a room where you're wearing a suit, and you have cameras 360 degrees around you. And that's usually performed with at least another person.
Mhm.
But largely video game voice acting is done isolated, just like anime.
It's interesting that that the way that American productions versus Japanese productions have that difference of keeping the actors separate versus working together.
Yeah, well, the reason they do it, if it makes sense now as I'm thinking about it, is because you're working to time, and it's all there's prelay. It's already happened in Japan, so here in America, everyone's working to record and make fit into that which already exists. So there really isn't much room. Well, there isn't any room. I'm sorry. There isn't much room for improvisation as an individual, and recording 2 or more people for anime would be impossible because you're upping the odds of error. Everybody, and there are times where you can't, because you can't overlap. Again, it just doesn't work. So it's almost like someone's giving you a song that's finished with all the instrumentation, and the vocal. Let's say there are 3 vocalists in it, and they all appear like every other line. You're not going to be able to bring 3 people in the studio to sing the song every other line and time it out perfectly. It's going to take a lot longer than if you just bring in each individual to do their individual part.
Mm.
Does that make
So
sense?
I think yes.
So maybe
Yes,
that
makes a lot.
simplifies it. So honestly, there's just not enough time to bring a cast in together. It's just there's no room for error, and it just takes it would take too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 more questions, and then if you would like to do the voice lines,
Sure.
then switch things up a little bit. So Caspian asked, out of all of the Kingdom Hearts games that Axel or Lee is in, which performance was your favorite? Which game performance was your favorite?
Well, geez, it's hard because they all kind of blend together for me. And because I didn't do them one after the other. There was time in between all of them. Usually, I'm because I'm forever trying to grow as an actor and progress. I'm usually happiest with my last performance. As Axel, it would have been the last performance as Axel, and Lee. I don't know. Maybe it was my first performance as Lee because it was new and different. But as Axel, the reason I would like my last performance the most is because, in terms of the time that I've recorded it, is that they trust me more. So it's more me and my instincts and my acting than it is them redirecting me on how to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that may not, coincide with a fan favorite, and that's okay.
But they're trusting you to give the performance that you understand the character best as, and I feel like giving the actor room to sort of wiggle in that regard.
Exactly.
So I think that this is our last question that we've gotten. I also have. I have one more question after the last question in the chat from the post.
Okay.
So, Tamaki asked, "Did you ever watch The Sixth Sense and realize that was Haley, aka Sora, or was it something that was told to you later?"
Well, no, yeah, I saw the movie The Sixth Sense when it came out, and I, after the fact, it was like, that was great. Who's that kid? Haley Joel. What's his name? Haley Joel Osment. Oh, okay,
Haley
great.
Joel Osment. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it to you. I
Oh,
was reflecting at the
right,
time.
right.
You know, it was I knew who Bruce Willis was. We all did, and at the time it was like, who's the kid? You know, I see dead people. I mean, that was his hook that he'll forever be. You know, people will remind him of, just like with me and got it memorized. And
Mhm.
so after it, I was like, who's the kid? Haley Joel Osment. Oh, yeah, okay, he's great. You know, and I think I saw him again because I watched the movie again. And I don't know that I saw him in anything else after that. Maybe one other project. But it was, yeah, until we did the not the Metal Gear series, until we were doing Kingdom Hearts. And because everybody was recorded individually, I didn't know who else was in the game until I went to the premiere and I ran into a couple of actor friends. And like I said, I recognized Jesse McCartney and went, huh, I wonder which character he was. Um, it was much later, you know, when I was looking up something on YouTube, or perhaps I saw a cast list where I saw his name and I went, well, I mean, I knew his name, but I didn't know he was in the game. And I went, what? The kid from the Sixth Sense? And then I looked and I saw a picture of him. I'm like, oh man, he's older now.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't have recognized his voice at all. There's no way.
It was a completely different performance. Haley is a very talented actor.
Is he? Yeah. Okay. I would think so. I mean, he was great as a kid, but
Mhm.
yeah, no, I would. I mean, I couldn't. I wouldn't even. I haven't heard him as an adult or seen him to know, you know, what he's like these days. So no, yeah, I guess to answer your question, no, I didn't know he was a member of the cast. Just like there's a lot of other people I didn't know who are a member of the cast that I've only found out in recent years. I'll be at a convention and I'll run into someone who says, "Hey, I play so and so. I'm in the organization with you." Like, oh,
Mhm.
well, that's cool. I didn't know that. Um, Only because I don't, you know, like someone asked me, "Do you watch your work? You know, do you play games?" No, I'm not a gamer. Do you watch your work? Nope, I don't. I just don't. Because by the time it comes around, I'm usually doing something else, and I'm not a gamer, and for some reason I don't watch the work I've done. I don't know why. I mean, occasionally if it's on and I run into it accidentally, like I was in England visiting my cousins a few years ago in the north of England, and the Scooby Doo episode popped on, and I had guested on there. Uh, and I was the lead singer of this ska punk band. And it was awesome because I went, oh my God, this is me. And my cousin's little daughter, who's my cousin as well, was like, what, that's you? Oh my God, that's Quinton's Uncle Quinton. And so that was really cute. You know, that was a memorable moment. And then as I listened, I recognized, you know, maybe another actor's voice. And I went, oh, that's so and so.
That's a pretty interesting side effect of the that you guys are recording on your own. That you don't really know who else is involved with the project until it's all done.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They don't give us a cast list or anything. And like I said, there was only that one party that I vaguely remember when the game was released, and that was it. Unfortunately, they don't do that, and I wish they would. I wish they would have, um, you know, some kind of a cast party or assembly where people get to know one another, but you know, they rarely do.
Yeah, call everyone in, order some pizzas. That would be fun.
They should, yeah. I think that would be great.
I would just love. I'd love to be a fly on the wall especially since you were talking about the shift in the industry to people using things that are closer to their natural voices. But just sitting in a room with all of the people who played the various members of the organization, but them having a pizza party.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
that'd be cool.
It sounds amazing. Then, did you want to ask Cadet's question? I realized that the one that I was taking from the post actually was already answered. So,
Now you know Paul St. Peter, right?
Mhm.
He plays one of the members of Organization 13.
Yes.
You know which character?
Who?
Zemnis.
Yeah, Zemix. He and I are going to be appearing in London in July. I think it's called Anime Gaming Expo, if I'm not mistaken. And it will be, I believe, the 6th, 7th, and 8th. So if we have any fans who are from London.
We actually have the reason that I asked you to do it at 1 o'clock for our time is we actually have a lot of people in the UK on this
great.
community.
Well, I'm just putting it out there. If anybody's, I don't think they've announced it yet. Or maybe, no, they have announced it. Actually, they did
July
just.
Or June?
No, it's July. July 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's going to be fun. I'm actually going to be doing some performing there as well. So.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
July 8th, 8/8. That's funny. Or was just pointing out that that's Axel Day.
Actually, it's 7/8. 7/6.
I know my I know my months really well.
I guess.
It's still the 8th. It counts.
So what's 8/8?
8/8 is what's called by the fandom Axel Day.
Really? Why is that?
Just because it's his number in the organization.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I knew it was his number, but I didn't know why 8/8. But 8/8/18, this should be pretty special then.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They should do something special.
I think that they should give you that callback on 8/8/18.
I would like. It would be very nice of them if they would start us recording on it by then. That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Even sooner, I'd be happy. So the sooner the better, gang. All right.
So then on 8/8, then you come back here and then we all have a cake together, right?
There you go.
Perfect.
We'll have our cake and eat it too.
So then do you have Cadet's question?
Let me scroll. All right.
Scope Crew Silver. It's awesome.
What?
Scope just posted in the chat a drawing of silver. And it looks really cool.
All right. So Cadet's question was: out of all the characters you have voiced, which one would you want to meet in real life?
Oh gosh. Let me think about that. Of all the characters I voice, who would I like to meet in real life? Probably Silver Shell from My Life as a Teenage Robot, because he can fly, and I would love it if he would take me flying high into the sky, and I'd just be like, "Hey, man, can we fly over to Ireland, or can we fly over here? Can we fly?" I mean, as high up as we could go without me losing consciousness due to a lack of oxygen. I would love to meet Silver Shell and go flying around.
And just go on a quick adventure.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You have to take a video with Paul St. Peter eating pizza.
Oh yeah,
Paul
St. Peter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eating pizza. Okay. Yeah.
Specifically pizza, right?
You guys gotta be eating pizza and just having an Organization 13 pizza party.
It might be hard to find in London, but you never know. Maybe not. Send us a message or a text and a reminder in July, and we'll try to make that happen.
Send them a pizza.
Yes.
Also send pizza.
Send pizza. We'll do it. We'll do a video as well.